Parents often struggle with how to punish misbehaving kids. Some of these parents got it shockingly wrong, while others merely came up with some strange punishments. In Texas, 10-year-old Jonathan James died of dehydration when his parents refused him of water for 5 days. They forced the young boy to stand in place in the sunlight with 100-degree heat as a punishment for wetting the bed. The boy's father, Michael James, and his stepmother, Tina Alberson, are both on trial for the torture for charges of first-degree felony injury to a child. In a punishment that is so humiliating that reporters are not disclosing the name of the parents for concern for the child, a 12-year-old had her head shaved and was forced to wear a diaper for getting a bad grade. Her parents sent her outside, bald and in just a tank top and diaper, to publicly humiliate her for getting a bad grade. A crowd of over 50 people had gathered, including some of her classmates, when police were called and the parents were arrested. The parents thought the punishment was funny and seemed to have no appreciation for the seriousness of the emotional harm they were causing by publicly shaming their daughter. Freeman Siev, a live-action role-play enthusiast, decided to incorporate his hobby into his daughter's punishment when she went to a house party without permission and ended up spending the night in jail. The father forced his daughter to put on armor and engage him in a medieval duel using wooden swords. After 2 brutal hours of being beaten by her father, Freeman's daughter had suffered severe bruising along each of her limbs and her head. Freeman and his wife were both arrested after one of his daughter's friends called 911 following a text message exchange with their daughter. 8-year-old Gabriel Fernandez seemed to only know a life of horrifically shocking punishment. Forced to eat cat poop, rotting spinach, and even his own vomit as punishments, Gabriel suffered this treatment at the hands of his mother, Pearl Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Izaro Iguia, who kept escalating the punishments until the boy died during a severe beating. Physical abuse seemed to be a normal part of the young boy's family life, and outrageous punishments like being locked in a cabinet with no access to a bathroom and then being forced to clean up after inevitably soiling the cabinet were routine. Pearl and Izaro are both in jail, awaiting trial on charges of capital murder with special circumstances of torture. Brian and Shelley Ramin, the parents of a 16-year-old special needs child, decided that opening cake sprinkles containers and stealing loose change required forcing their child to live in their backyard through a sweltering Arizona summer with no protection from dust storms or rainstorms. The boy's uncle, Trey, remarked that the couple treated their dog better than they treated their son. The parents responsible attempted to defend themselves, calling their child disrespectful and dishonest. In Iowa, Jane Hambleton had placed a for sale ad for her 19-year-old son's car. In her ad, she let people know she was selling her son's car because he had broken her rules about no alcohol in the vehicle. Jane was asking for $3,700 for the car, and though her son insisted that the alcohol was a friend's and not his, Jane has stood firm. The rule was no alcohol, be it his or anyone else's, and since he couldn't follow the rules, the car had to go. 36-year-old mother Jessica Beagley used hot sauce and cold showers as punishments for her 7-year-old son, whom she adopted from Russia, and she recorded it to get on the Dr. Phil show. The show caused public outrage when it aired as people were shocked that this mum forced her crying child into cold showers before bed for misbehaving at school and had him hold hot sauce in his mouth for more than a minute for lying. Jessica had her 10-year-old daughter record the punishments. The mum faces up to a year in jail after being convicted of misdemeanor child abuse. When Tommy Jordan found a post from his 15-year-old daughter on Facebook talking smack about him, he decided to take action, and he shot her laptop. Posting the video of his punishment on Facebook, he received a mixed reaction, some people calling him abusive, and others calling him a hero. He has said that the post has helped both him and his daughter understand the power of Facebook, and that there can be long-term consequences for posts that in the moment seem to be unimportant. Frances Henner, a mother in Bakersfield, California, decided she had to take action after she caught word that her daughter, 11-year-old Jamie Henner, had decided to twerk at her school dance despite her mother's wishes. Frances punished the provocative dancing by sentencing her daughter to stand at a busy intersection for 2 hours on a Monday morning, holding a sign stating, "I was disrespecting my parents by twerking at a school dance." Frances felt proud of her use of public humiliation as punishment. In China, communities really do believe it takes a village to raise a child, and a village in Guangxi decided that a 10-year-old boy needed a lesson after he stole 20,000 yuan, about $3,000, from a local butcher. First, they had the boy kneel and apologize to the villagers, and feeling that an apology was not adequate, they put him in a pig cage. Not seeing the level of remorse they wanted, the boy had to strip down and was put into a freezing cold lake. Once he was crying, they finally deemed the punishment sufficient. Authorities are investigating both the theft and the punishments inflicted on the boy. Giuliano Parker of Texas thought he would get support from the Facebook community for turning his apartment into a prison, complete with an orange prison t-shirt for his 3-year-old daughter. Frustrated that his 3-year-old was talking back and disrespecting him and his wife, he felt that spankings just weren't working anymore. And since the law doesn't let you spank your kids like they used to, he decided jail was appropriate. People on Facebook lashed out and dished up plenty of outrage, not only because he had spanked his 3-year-old so often it didn't even bother her anymore, but because he seemed to have no understanding of what was normal 3-year-old behavior. Some parents believe that their style of punishment must be updated to accommodate the fact that their children have access to social media. Denise Abbott, mother of Ohio teenager Ava Abbott, did just that when she got fed up with her daughter insulting her constantly over Facebook. Denise added a red X over Ava's mouth to her daughter's profile picture with the words, "I do not know how to keep my mouth shut. I am no longer allowed on Facebook or my phone. Please ask why. My mum says I have to answer everyone that asks." Denise hopes that the lack of her daughter's social life will teach the daughter to be thankful for what her mother does for her. Scott McIntosh is the hero of parents everywhere for having worn short shorts to prove a point to his daughter. Instead of trying to restrict his daughter's clothing choices or imposing harsh punishments, he decided to help his girls understand how he felt. He cut a pair of his jeans into Daisy Dukes and took his family out for a night of fun. When they got to the ice cream shop, his daughter finally said she couldn't take it and wouldn't go in with him. He hopes this helped his kids to feel loved while also getting his message across. Samantha and James Taylor thought torture and punishment was the same thing when it came to their young children. For their punishment, the 5, 6, and 8-year-old kids would be forced into a plastic container, and the container would be taped shut with only a small square cut in the lid for air. Taking it even a step further, the parents would pour water into this hole, similar to some waterboarding techniques used on terrorists. The father has been sentenced to 1 year behind bars for his torture, and the mother was sentenced to 2 years of probation. At age 15, Shannon Levy had become so unruly that her parents finally had to resort to drastic measures to curb her drinking, smoking pot, ignoring school, and promiscuity. The parents paid about $40,000 to have their daughter kidnapped and taken to a Jamaican tough love discipline camp. The behavior modification camp placed teens in uniforms and flip-flops so it would be hard to run away from the program of therapy, school, and discipline. The camp looks like a tropical cliffside resort until you notice the barbed wire, security cameras, and lines of uniformed teens. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.